members, back secretariat, and technical personnel who prepared the plans and specification for goods and services. And also to our YouTube live viewers and prospective viewers. Today, March 5, 2025, is a private conference for One Goods and Services, particularly for contract ID number 24 GPJ 23. But before we start, may I request everyone to please stand for the opening prayer.
Loving Heavenly Father, we come to you this hour asking for your blessing and help as we are gathered together. We pray for guidance in the matters at hand and ask that you would clearly show us how to conduct our work with a spirit of joy and enthusiasm. Give us the desire to find ways to excel in our work. Help us to work together and encourage each other to excellence. We ask that we would challenge each other to reach higher and farther to be the best we can be. We ask this in the name of the Lord. Amen.
Please be seated. So may I request the Secretariat to please post or to send to our video screen the selection of our observers for today's private conference. Thank you.
Our first official observer from the DPWH Accredited CEOs is the Chamber Real Estate and Builders Association of the Union Chapter, Mr. Chair. And our official observer for goods and services is the PCCI, Mr. Chair. And that is all, Mr. Chair, for the selection of our observers.
Thank you, Secretariat. Did we send invitation to these observers for today's private conference?
Yes, Mr. Chair. We sent letters to our observers first, who Sir Antonio Dolores Orata, Stakeholder for Audit Team Leader of Commission Audit, a letter dated February 26, 2025, was duly received by the COA February 26, 2025. And our second observer is Mr. Eduardo L. Lamadrid, the Chairman of Chamber Real Estate and Builders Association, La Union Chapter from San Fernando City, Bituminous. A letter dated February 26, 2025 was sent. Invitation to sing as observer on Thursday, February 27, 2025 at 11:18 in the morning. And our last observer is Consul Inolina V. Mangio, the President of Philippine Chamber of Commerce and Industry, or the PCCI, from Fort Bonifacio, Taguig City, a letter dated February 26, 2025. Invitation to sit as observer was sent Thursday, February 27, 2025 at 11:15 in the morning. And that is all, Mr. Chair, for our invitation to our official observers.
Thank you, Engineer Josan Ligala, the head of the procurement staff. It seems that our invited observers are not present this morning, but I hope they are watching us live in our YouTube live streaming. May I request then the Secretariat for the attendance if we have quorum for today's procurement activity.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Good morning, everyone. I will now proceed with the roll call of attendance. The back members: Engineer Danilo A. Bernabé.
Present.
Back chairperson: Engineer Ferdinand B. F. Bayabos. Back vice chairperson. The back regular members: Ma'am Grace B. Sanchez. Engineer Christopher M. Balasha.
Present.
And Engineer Harley Rex L. Lopez.
Present.
The back provisional members: Engineer Herbert M. Agudelo.
Present.
And Engineer Noel B. Amador Jr. the Box Secretariat, yours truly, Joseph E. Degan. The Box Secretariat members, Engineer Z.B. Benos E. Valdez,
Present.
Sir Belmar G. Quirino, Ma'am Rachel R. Infante,
Present.
and Ma'am Vivian Zenaida I. Bula. And the representative from the implementing unit for the maintenance section, Engineer Andre S. De La Cruz. Therefore, Mr. Chair, majority of the attendants of our Business Awards Committee today are present in our press conference. Therefore, Mr. Chair, we have a quorum.
Once again, thank you so much, Engineer Joseph Digala, the head of the procurement staff. Since we have a quorum, the back chair now declares that the procurement activity this morning is now officially in order. Allow me to read the agenda for the credit conference. Number 1, the basic contract data. This will be discussed by Engineer Andre de la Cruz of the maintenance section. Number 2, agenda. Question, comments from leaders and the price of BAC and other representative of procurement entity. Number 3, agenda. Requirements of bidding documents. This will be presented through audio recorded. Number 4, agenda. Documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposal. Okay. Correction for agenda number 3, requirements of bidding documents. This will be presented by Engineer Joseph Digala. Number 4, agenda, documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposal. This will be presented through audio recording. Number 5, agenda, proposed amendments if there is any. Number 6, agenda, criteria and procedure for the preliminary examination of the bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification and award. This will be again presented through audio recorded. Number 7, other matters or announcement if there is any. And number 8, the last agenda, summary of proceedings, including bid bulletin and or addenda to be issued if there is any. But before we go to the agenda proper, may I request the Secretariat to please play the audio recorded relative to Section 22 of the revised implementing rules and regulation of RA 9184 and the latest GPPB issuances. Secretariat.
Section 22. Pre-bid conference. Section 22.1. For contracts to be bid with an ABC of 1 million pesos or more, the bank shall convene at least one pre-bid conference to clarify and or explain any of the requirements, terms, conditions, and specifications stipulated in the bidding documents. For contracts to be bid with an ABC of less than 1 million pesos, pre-bid conferences may be conducted at the discretion of the bank. Subject to the approval of the bank, a pre-bid conference may also be conducted upon written request of any prospective bidder. Section 22.2, the pre-bid conference shall be held at least 12 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids, but not earlier than 7 calendar days from the PhilJet's posting. Section 22.3, the pre-bid conference shall discuss, clarify, and explain, among other things, eligibility requirements and the technical and financial components of the contract to be bid, including questions and clarifications raised by the prospective bidders before and during the pre-bid conference. Section 22.4, the minutes of the pre-bid conference shall be recorded and prepared not later than 5 calendar days after the pre-bid conference and shall be made available to prospective bidders not later than 5 days upon written request. Decisions of the bank amending any provision of the bidding documents shall be issued in writing through a supplemental or bid bulletin at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. Section 22.5 Supplemental / Bid Bulletin Section 22.5.1 Request for clarifications on any part of the bidding documents or for an interpretation. Must be in writing and submitted to the back of the procuring entity concerned at least 10 calendar days before the deadline set for the submission and receipt of bids. Section 22.5.2 for purposes of clarifying or modifying any provision of the bidding documents, supplemental or bid bulletins may be issued upon the procuring entity's initiative at least 7 calendar days before the deadline for the submission and receipt of bids. Any modification to the bidding documents shall be identified as an amendment. Section 22.5.3 any supplemental / bid bulletin issued by the bank shall also be posted in the PhilJets, the website of the procuring entity concerned, if available, and at any conspicuous place within the premises of the procuring entity. It shall be the responsibility of all those who have properly secured the bidding documents to inquire and secure supplemental or bid bulletins that may be issued by the bank. However, bidders who have submitted bids before the issuance of the supplemental or bid bulletin must be informed and allowed to modify or withdraw their bids in accordance with Section 26 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA 9184.
Thank you, Secretariat, for showing in our video screen the section 22, which is the private conference. We go now to agenda proper. Number one agenda is the basic contract data. This will be discussed by Engineer Andre de la Cruz. Andre, please take it away.
For the basic contract data under goods and services for contract ID 34 GPJ name of contract, supply, delivery, and installation of Bituminous materials for use in the repair maintenance of National Road along Aritao Main Road, kilometer 244 + 459 to kilometer 244 + 949, for Bagumbayan, Dupax Road, Nueva Vizcaya. Location of the contract. Bagumbayan, Dupax Road, Nueva Vizcaya. Approved budget for the contract, ABC, for $130,147 pesos. Scope of works. Supply, delivery, and installation of Bituminous materials for use in the repair maintenance of National Road. Contract duration, 7 calendar days. Cost of the bidding document, 5,000 pesos. Source of fund, GAA FY 2024. Date of bidding, March 18, 2025. For the administration of said project, emulsified asphalt SS1, 2.19 metric tons. Bituminous concrete surface force, 367.65 metric tons. That's
What is the mixture of the asphalt to be delivered by the prospective bidders? Mixture of asphalt, because the supplier of asphalt should submit a job mix for the asphalt so that the QAS would have a idea regarding the mixture and the aggregates in the asphalt. Is it class D or E? Class D. The mixture is class D. So that is the additional information for the prospective bidders. Okay, thank you, Andre. Secretariat, do we have any questions, comments from our prospective bidders?
None, Mr. Chair.
There is none. Since there is none, the bidding documents as published in the PhilJets and also in the DPWH website will be sustained. So we go now to agenda number 3, which is the requirements of bidding documents. This will be presented to us by Engineer Joseph Regala, the head of the procurement staff. Joseph?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. For the requirements of the bidding documents in the form of leadership, for IPP clause 5.3, the bidder must have completed a single contract that is similar to this project, equivalent to at least 25% of the ABC. For this purpose, contracts similar to the project shall be A. The similar contract refers to supply, delivery, and installation of Bituminous materials for use in the repair or maintenance of national roads. And B. Completed within 5 years prior to the deadline for the submission and receipt of fees. For IDP Clause 7.1, subcontracting is not allowed. IDP Clause 12, the price of the goods shall be quoted at DDP within the province of Nueva Vizcaya for this project. The bidder shall bid on all items to be bid. Price quoted shall include taxes. IDP Clause 14.1, the bid security shall be in the form of a bid securing declaration or any of the following forms and amounts. A. The amount of not less than 2% of ABC if bid security is in cash, cashier's or manager's check, bank draft or guarantee of or irrevocable letter of credit. Or B. The amount of not less than 5% of ABC if bid security is issued to bond. For IPD Clause 19.3, the ABC is 4,830,147 pesos. Any bid with a financial component exceeding the ABC shall not be accepted. For IPD Clause 20.1, no other licenses and permits are required. IPD Clause 21.1, no additional contract documents are required. And that is all, Mr. Chair, for the requirements of bidding documents.
Okay, thank you, Engineer Joseph Licana. We go now to agenda number 4, which is the documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposal. This will be presented to us through audio recorded. Secretariat.
Requirements for technical and financial documents, procurement for goods and services. 1. Technical component envelope. Class A documents. Legal documents. A. Valid field jobs registration certificate, platinum membership, all pages, in accordance with Section 8.5.2 of the IRR. Technical documents. B. Statement of the prospective bidder of all its ongoing government and private contracts, including contracts awarded but not yet started, if any, whether similar or not similar in nature and complexity to the contract to be bid. And C. Statement of the bidder's single largest completed contract, or SLCC, similar to the contract to be bid, except under conditions provided for in sections 23.4.1.3 and 23.4.2.4 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA number 9184 within the relevant period as provided in the bidding documents, and the original copy of bid security. If in the form of a surety bond, submit also a certification issued by the Insurance Commission, or original copy of notarized bid securing declaration, and E. Conformity with the technical specifications, which may include production/delivery schedule, manpower requirements, and or after sales/parts, if applicable, and F. Original duly signed omnibus sworn statement or OSS, and if applicable, original notarized secretary certificate in case of a corporation, partnership, or cooperative, or original special power of attorney SPA of all members of the joint venture giving full power and authority to its officer to sign the OSS and do acts to represent the bidder. Financial documents. G. The prospective bidder's computation of net financial contracting capacity or NFCC, or a committed line of credit from a universal or commercial bank in lieu of its NFCC computation. Class B documents. H. If applicable, a duly signed joint venture agreement or JVA in case the joint venture is already in existence. Or duly notarized statements from all the potential joint venture partners stating that they will enter into and abide by the provisions of the JVA in the instance that the bid is successful. 2. Financial component envelope. I. Original of duly signed and accomplished financial bid form. And J. Original of duly signed and accomplished price schedules. Other documentary requirements under RA number 9184 as applicable. K. Certification from the DTI if the bidder claims preference as a domestic bidder or domestic entity.
That is all, Mr. Chair, for the documents submitted by the bidders.
Again, may I ask the Secretariat, relative to the requirements of the bidding documents and the documents to be submitted by the bidder, including technical and financial proposal, meron ba tayong comments sa mga prospective bidders?
None, Mr. Chair.
If there is none, therefore, there will be no proposed amendment to the bidding documents as published in the DPWH website and also from the TGEMS. So we go now to agenda number 6, which is criteria and procedure for the preliminary examination of the bids, detailed evaluation of bids, post-qualification, and award. Again, this will be presented through audio recorded. Secretariat, please.
Detailed bid evaluation. For the procurement of goods, the purpose of bid evaluation is to determine the lowest calculated bid using the following steps. 1. The BAC shall immediately conduct a detailed evaluation of all bids using non-discretionary criteria in considering the following. A. Completeness of the bid. Unless the instructions to bidders specifically allow partial bids not addressing or providing all of the required items in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, bill of quantities, shall be considered non-responsive and, thus, automatically disqualified. In this regard, where a required item is provided, but no price is indicated, the same shall be considered as non-responsive, but specifying a zero or dash for the said item would mean that it is being offered for free to the government. B. Arithmetical corrections. Correct computational errors and omissions to enable proper comparison of all eligible bids. It may also consider bid modifications if expressly allowed in the bidding documents. Any adjustment shall be calculated in monetary terms to determine the calculated prices. 2. The BAC shall evaluate all bids on an equal footing to ensure fair and competitive bid comparison. For this purpose, all bidders shall be required to include the cost of all taxes, such as, but not limited to, value-added tax or VAT, income tax, local taxes, and other fiscal levies and duties which shall be itemized in the bid form and reflected in the detailed estimates. Such bids, including said taxes, shall be the basis for bid evaluation and comparison. 3. In case of discrepancies between A. Bid prices in figures and in words, the latter shall prevail. B. Total price of the item and unit price of the item as extended or multiplied by the quantity of that item, the latter shall prevail. C. Stated total price and the actual sum of prices of component items, the latter shall prevail. D. Unit cost in the detailed estimate and unit cost in the bill of quantities, the latter shall prevail. 4. Bids shall then be ranked in the ascending order of their total calculated bid prices, as evaluated and corrected for computational errors and other bid modifications, to identify the lowest calculated bid. Total calculated bid prices, as evaluated and corrected for computational errors and other bid modifications, which exceed the ABC shall be disqualified.
Post-qualification. Objective and process of post-qualification. 1. The lowest calculated bid shall undergo post-qualification to determine whether the bidder concerned complies with and is responsive to all the requirements and conditions as specified in the bidding documents. 2. Within 5 calendar days from receipt by the bidder of the notice from the Bids and Awards Committee that the bidder has the lowest calculated bid, the bidder shall submit to the Bids and Awards Committee its latest income and business tax returns and other appropriate licenses and permits required by law and stated in the bidding documents. Failure to submit any of the post-qualification requirements on time or a finding against the veracity thereof shall disqualify the bidder for award, provided that in the event that the finding against the veracity of any of the documents submitted is made, it shall cause the forfeiture of the bid security in accordance with Section 69 of the 2016 Revised Implementing Rules and Regulations, IRR, of Republic Act Number 9184. 3. The post-qualification shall verify, validate, and ascertain the veracity, authenticity, and validity of all the Class A eligibility documents supporting the PhilJEP Certificate of Registration and Membership in accordance with Section 8.5.2 of the 2016 Revised IRR of RA Number 9184, and all the other statements made and documents submitted by the bidder with the lowest calculated bid using non-discretionary criteria, as stated in the bidding documents. These criteria shall consider, but shall not be limited to, the following. A. Legal requirements. To verify, validate, and ascertain licenses, certificates, permits, and agreements submitted by the bidder, and the fact that it is not included in any blacklist as provided in Section 25.3 of the 2016 Revised IRR of RA Number 9184. For this purpose, the GPPB shall maintain a consolidated file of all blacklisted suppliers, contractors, and consultants. B. Technical requirements. To determine compliance of the goods offered with the requirements specified in the bidding documents, including, where applicable, I. Verification and/or inspection and testing of the goods/product, after sales and/or maintenance capabilities in applicable cases, as well as checking the following. A. Delaying the partial delivery of goods amounting to 10% of the contract price in its ongoing government and private contracts. B. If any of these contracts shows the bidder's failure to deliver or perform any or all the goods or services within the period specified in the contract or within any extension thereof granted by the procuring entity pursuant to a request made by the supplier prior to the delay, and such failure amounts to at least 10% of the contract price. C. Unsatisfactory performance of the supplier's obligations as per contract terms and conditions at the time of inspection. If the bank verifies any of these deficiencies to be due to the bidder's fault or negligence, the bank shall disqualify the bidder from the award for the procurement of goods. 2. Ascertainment of the authenticity of the bid security and its correctness as to type, amount, form, and wording, and validity period, as required in the bidding documents. C. Financial requirements. To verify, validate, and ascertain the bid price proposal of the bidder and, whenever applicable, the required committed line of credit in the amount specified and over the period stipulated in the bidding documents, or the bidder's NFCC to ensure that the bidder can sustain the operating cash flow of the transaction. The determination of the lowest calculated and responsive bid, or LCRB, is guided by sections 34.4 to 34.8 of the 2016 Revised IRR of RA Number 9184. The Bids and Awards Committee would recommend to the award of contract to the bidder of the LCRB in accordance with Section 37 of the 2016 Revised IRR of RA Number 9184, which outlines the procedures for the notice and execution of award.
And that is all, Mr. Chair, for the criteria and procedure for the preliminary approval.
Okay, thank you. Joseph Tigala, the head of the procurement staff. We go now to agenda number 7, which is other matters in our announcement. if there is any. Is there any announcement?
Yes, Mr. Chair. We have announcement or reminders. We have a procurement activity opening of bids on March 11, 2025 at 9 p.m. here in conference room of DPWH Nueva Vizcaya second DEO. With two goods and services with contract ID numbers 24GPJ21 and 24GPJ22. And our second procurement activity, opening of bids, scheduled on March 18, 2025 at 9 p.m. here in the conference room of DPWH Nueva Vizcaya second DEO with one goods and services with contract ID number 24GPJ23. And that is all, Mr. Chair, for the announcements or reminders.
Once again, thank you, Engineer Joseph Ligala, the head of the procurement staff. And the last agenda is agenda number 8, which is the summary of proceedings, including bid bulletin or addendum to be issued. Since we discussed agenda number 1 to 7, and there is no bid bulletin or addendum to be issued, therefore, we have now completed the agenda for the brevet conference. Any announcement from my fellow board members? There is none. Since there is none, do I hear a motion for adjournment?
Mr. Chair, we move to the adjournment of this procurement activity.
Any second the motion? It has been moved and seconded that the procurement activity for today's meeting is now officially adjourned. Thank you everyone, and thank you to our YouTube live viewers. Muli magandang umaga sa ating lahat.